Ignorance is bliss. You've probably heard this a lot, but is it?
We want to share 3 stories with you today. They are not interlinked with each other per se, but all have one important lesson we can't emphasize enough. Don't be the boiling frog.
Close your eyes and imagine yourself in a dire need of money. And in that instant, someone magically makes you an incredible job offer. Would you take it? I would take it. It's just perfect timing. Something similar happened with one of our subscribers. We received this email over 2 years ago from a guy named Jasveer. He had been offered a clerical job that required him to collect data from various scattered sources and curate them in a standardized format. And his payout depended on 2 things. First, he should complete 120 documents within 12 days, and second, his work should have at least 90% accuracy. For this task, the company offered him 30,000 rupees. This does sound incredible, and so he took it. The company sent him an 11-month contract. He just signed it and started working immediately, and enthusiastically finished 120 documents well before time and submitted them for approval. The company got back to him saying that his work has a lot of mistakes and that he should not be paid any money. Instead, the company demanded 30,000 rupees in damages from him. This was in fact mentioned in the contract. The next call he received was from a person claiming to be the company's lawyer. That guy gave him 2 options: either pay 30,000 rupees right now or be ready to be served with a legal notice. Just like anybody, Jasveer was scared and ended up paying this amount. But he wasn't out of the woods yet. That person called him up once again and reminded him of an 11-month contract he had signed with the company. And once again, Jasveer was handed 2 options: either work for 10 more months or pay 10 months worth of damages right now. When Jasveer refused, the lawyer threatened to send a legal notice to his nearest police station and gave him only 10 minutes to pay an amount of 2,82,000 rupees. And to further instigate his fear, a person claiming to be from Gujarat's High Court called him up, giving him again 2 options: either appear before a judge on a specific hearing date or pay this amount immediately to settle the case. By now, if you haven't figured it out, let me help you. Everything was fake. This is an organized racket that traps thousands of people just like Jasveer. We are in fact flooded with emails like these, and this one girl in particular wrote to me that she was getting suicidal thoughts because she did not want her parents to find out what she has gotten herself into. The question that arises now is, when do you stop fearing the law that is meant for your protection? When and how will you educate yourself on such basics to prevent these situations?
My grandfather, Indermal Jain, is 85 years old. He is a reputed labor law practitioner in Jodhpur, Rajasthan. He consults businesses that require labor law compliances such as PF, ESI, bonus, etc. But due to lack of bandwidth, he only consults employer side of compliances. He doesn't offer any employee-centric services such as PF transfer, correction, withdrawal, pension application, etc. However, as a social service, he helps with PF and ESI pension claim if family of any deceased employee comes. One day I asked, Dada, आपने आज तक कितने pension claim करवाए हैं? How many pension claims have you done so far? He replied, maybe 100. His answer shocked me because in his career of 44 years and having consulted more than 500 companies with thousands of employees, there must have been more than 100 deaths. What could have been the problem? I wondered maybe their dependents had no idea that they are entitled to pension. To back that claim, I have some data. About 1,50,000 crore rupees are lying unclaimed with Indian banks and insurance companies, including 58,000 crore rupees with Employee Provident Fund. This amount belongs to more than 8 crore Indians, and the unclaimed means the money hasn't been claimed for more than 10 years. Have you ever left money on the table? Before you say no, just think about it, because more than 8 crore people have left money on the table and they don't even know about it. Can you confidently say that you are not one of them?
In the year 2000, my father incurred a business loss of 20 lakh rupees, a number most middle class families find huge even today. To repay the debt, we had to sell our house in Jaipur and move to Karnal, a small town in Haryana. Life had suddenly turned upside down. We had no money. While my mother got a job as a Hindi teacher in a nearby school, my father had to do all sorts of odd jobs just to make ends meet. And still, we were often financially supported by our relatives. The only goal of my parents was to make sure that I go to a good school no matter what. After 4 years of hard work and struggle, my father finally found a small business opportunity that allowed us to move back to Jaipur. My mother also found another school to work at. It was still difficult to run things smoothly, but we were headed towards better times for sure. Fast forward to 2013. During my last teenage years, I started demanding fancy stuff from my parents out of peer pressure. So my father bought me a 38,000 rupee smartphone, a 15,000 rupee graphics card, and after only 10 days, I manipulated him into buying me another smartphone that cost 40,000 rupees because the last one didn't have enough storage. I waited my entire childhood to experience a moment like this, and so did my parents. They finally got the chance to pamper me like that. However, this new setup wasn't built to last. My father's business spiraled down once again. We started taking debts from friends and family, hoping it would be a temporary arrangement. And this time, although still a student, I was an adult and fully understood the gravity of these situations. So I asked my father, how much money do we have in investments? To which he replied, there's this PPF account that is yet to mature after a few years, and we have an insurance policy that is supposed to pay us 20 lakh rupees. But then he said only after paying premiums for the next 12 years, premiums which we could not even afford. There was nothing that we could take advantage of that day. We were helpless, inching towards rock bottom. And back then, my only goal was to make enough money so that my parents don't have to worry about it anymore. But one day I got an epiphany. I realized that we had good money, not once, but twice in our lifetimes. But we somehow lost it all. I wondered, either this world is so cruel that it's difficult for a middle class family to survive, or there must be a way to systematically avoid situations like these. And of course, when you put it like that, you know it's the latter. Where did we go wrong? I wondered. And the answer was pretty simple. We did not make enough provisions for the future. For this, I don't blame my parents. They did the best they could for me. And they neither had a finance background, nor are they from a digital era where they could have just YouTubed things. And the one and only help that they got was from a nefarious insurance agent masquerading as a good Samaritan. He told my father that we'd only have to pay premiums for 3 years and then we'll get the payout. But after 3 years, the company told my father the premiums have to be paid for 5 years. And when after 5 years, my father inquired again for the payout, the company told him that he had to pay premiums for the next 15 years before he can hope for a single penny in return. I wish someone had explained to my parents about investing, about prudence, about insurance. Someone definitely other than an insurance agent who was supposed to make a 25% cut. With these stories, the message that we want to convey is that we are all born a boiling frog. We are all ignorant at first, and the system that we are a part of wants you to stay ignorant.
My grandpa's story became my motivation to start Labor Law Advisor. Our channel educates Indian workforce about various labor laws and their rights.
My parents' story gave me a purpose to be on YouTube. Mis-selling of financial products is happening at a large scale in India, and the usual target is always the middle class family. And so, I wanted to yell at people. I wanted to show them how they are being fooled by multiple institutions in the name of insurance, mutual funds, deposit schemes. And I wanted to tell them that there is a way out. It wasn't our responsibility to improve other people's lives, but it did not let us sleep either. In Captain America Civil War, when Peter Parker said to Tony Stark, when you can do the things that I can and you don't, and then the bad things happen, they happen because of you. And I personally could not agree more with this statement.
Fast forward to 2022. Our videos have received more than 300 million views, and still we have a long way to go. During this journey, we have come across some horrifying stories of our viewers.
There are broadly 3 vulnerable categories of people. First, people who don't know anything about investing. Second, people who rely on others for investing. And third, people who have bigger worries. They're jobless. All 3 can be and will be exploited by the masterminds. The first 2 kinds of people can be easily manipulated into investing their money in wrong or riskier assets, and the third kind is likely to believe in a so-called work from home side job that pays even more than a full-time job, but in reality is a scam that will rip them off to their last saved penny.
Therefore, it remains our fundamental responsibility that we defeat ignorance. We are living in a really interesting world where knowledge has become completely free.
My whole career is built upon this free knowledge. The only challenge is it's hidden on the internet. An internet that is filled with so much noise that screams at you. It fights for your attention. So it's on you to navigate and reach the treasure. This will take time and effort, and we have to make good decisions however inconvenient they are. Because ignorance is definitely not a bliss.
We don't want to wait till the day someone take advantage of our ignorance. Do you? Let's jump out of the pot before it boils one day.
Don't be the boiling frog.